The look on my daughter's face when she threw away her school bag was undoubtedly a look of betrayal and of complete fury. She just opened the trash can, slammed her brand new school bag into it, stuffed it down as far as she possibly could, slammed the lid shut, and sprinted back to her room, tears running down her cheeks all the while.
Sweetheart, why did you do that?
Because it was someone else's hand-me-down, Mommy.
What? What do you mean? I'm sure Daddy bought a brand new bag just for you.
Just look at this, Mommy.
It turned out that my husband had been lying to both of us, and the lie was so big and so scandalous, I just had to confront him. I looked at him dead in the eyes and said, "This is the story of how a single unexpected act from my daughter caused me to completely lose my trust in my husband, and how another discovery led me to divorcing him and rendering his life miserable." My name is Hallie McFarlane, and I'm a 33-year-old part-time supermarket clerk. My husband Graham is 35 years old and works for a local office. We used to live with our daughter Alexandra, also known as Alex, who was just about to enter elementary school. Graham and I are not on bad terms per se, but we aren't exactly on good terms either. And not because one of us is somewhat abusive or anything. Perish the thought. It's just that we're so busy that we haven't been able to spend much time together for quite a while. We didn't talk as much as we used to, and life together had become much like one in which roommates live instead. But I guess that was to be expected, since we had our daughter to take care of. Things had been especially hectic lately, as we prepared for Alex's entrance into elementary school. While I was preparing the necessary items for the new school year, she brought me a flyer about school bags and asked me for one.
Mommy, you didn't buy a school bag yet, right? I want this one.
You found the one you liked, did you? Let's see. To be honest, we don't have a lot of money to spare right at that time, so we couldn't afford to spend so much on her. And Alex, bless her pure, sweet little soul, she knew that, and she never expected to get much of anything, so she hardly ever asked and begged for something in particular. That's why I was thinking I should at least buy her a school bag that she likes. I asked her to show me the school bag that she wanted, and I nearly dropped the flyer. It cost darn near a whole grand, and I was at a loss for words because of the unexpectedly high price.
I knew you couldn't afford it, Mommies. Sorry for being so selfish.
Oh no, don't worry, sweetheart. I'm going to get you a school bag of your choice, since you'll use it for at least 5 years. And judging how this bag looks, I'm pretty sure this bag is going to last you something like 20 years. And I'll talk to Daddy too. Her reaction about how she'd chosen a pretty expensive bag almost made me ask her to find another one that she liked. But I stopped myself in a hurry. It's a little bit tight, but not so much that I couldn't afford right then. I decided to buy it for her and told Graham, my husband, "Hey, honey, so Alex told me that she wanted this school bag, and it cost $980. I was worried about the price the first time I saw it, but I think we've been holding back quite a bit of money on her, which kind of takes the fun out of her life. So I was thinking, maybe we could spoil her once in a while, and I think we'll be able to afford the bag just enough. Sounds good, doesn't it?"
Sure is. Speaking of which, I know someone who works at the department store where these school bags are sold. Maybe if I talk to him, he might be able to sell it to us a little cheaper. Want me to go see him?
Hell yeah, I do. That would be so helpful. Thanks so much, honey.
I'll buy it through him then. Can I have $1,000 for now?
Graham agreed to buy the school bag for Alex, and I gave him the $1,000 he needed to buy it. A few days after we discussed the school bag, my husband suddenly came home from work earlier than usual and said he had to leave the house for a while because he had a sudden urgent business trip. In the end, he went away on this business trip without even leaving me any time to ask him what was going on with Alex's bag. But there was still some time before the school entrance, so I decided to ask him about it thoroughly after he came back from his trip. I didn't think too much about it and went on with my life as usual. 5 days later, Graham came home from his trip. "Welcome home. I'm sure you must be tired from such a sudden business trip. Thanks so much as always."
Is the bath already prepared? It's been a while since I took a nice, long bath.
"Yeah, I figured you'd say that. I'll put your jacket and luggage in your room, so you go ahead and take a bath."
Okay, I'll do that. Thanks, Hallie. I don't know what I would do without you.
He left his luggage with me and went straight to the shower room. His words made me feel so warm in my chest, and I hummed a nice little tune as he took his luggage to his room and put his jacket on a hanger and organized his belongings. Then I suddenly caught the aroma of a sweet perfume on his jacket, which smelled different from what fabric softener we use at home smelled like. I knew the smell changed a few days after use, and he probably had it cleaned while he was on his business trip as well, so I just naturally assumed that he was using a scented deodorant spray, I thought, and didn't pay any much attention to it. After he came out of the bath, I asked him about Alex's bag. "So, how's progress on with the school bag we were talking about the other day? Were you able to get what Alex wanted for a cheaper price?"
Yeah, I was. I got the same model for $200 cheaper. It was a bit of a hassle to negotiate a reasonable price for both of us, but I managed to convince him. I think we can manage, but it looks like they're going to give me the school bag in a week's time. So I'm going to bring it home sometime next weekend, maybe.
"Oh, awesome! Thank you so much, honey." I was so relieved that he was going to get his daughter's school bag, just as I hoped he would. During the next week of waiting for the bag to arrive, I imagined Alex's happy face and felt over the moon for a while. Normally, I would have checked the mailbox every morning, sorted into a pile for my husband and one for me, and give his pile to him. But what with my excitement, I forgot to do even that simple thing. But there was also a credit card bill in the mail, but that belonged to Graham, so I just didn't check the contents. And a week later, when Graham came from work, he had a big box in his hands. "Welcome, honey." "Oh, wait, could that be?"
Yep, it's Alex's new school bag, Hallie. Sorry this took a little while.
"Thanks, honey. I'll go get Alex in her room. She's going to get absolutely ballistic when she sees this." The three of us gathered in the living room. I told Alex to close her eyes, and I guided her towards Graham, who held up the big box in front of her. I then urged her to open up her eyes, and no sooner had she done so, she squealed in delight and sprinted towards her father. She tried to rip open the box, her father helping her, and after the large, robust black bag revealed itself, both Graham and I watched as she grabbed it and started hugging it. "Alex, sweetheart, this is the school bag you've been asking for."
Good luck in elementary school, kiddo.
Thank you, Mommy. Thank you, Daddy. You're the best. I'm going to put my new textbooks inside right now.
As I predicted, Alex was overjoyed when we gave her the bag and ran to her room with her new bag. That was a sight to see, wasn't it, honey?
Well, sure.
Sure. His somewhat risque reply caught me a little off guard. After a while, Alex's shadow emerged from her room, and from the way she was stomping her feet, I could tell something was wrong. Her expression had changed from the one she had been earlier into one that was of unmistakable betrayal and complete fury. "What's the matter, darling? Is something wrong?" Without answering my question, just opened the trash can, slammed her brand new school bag into it, stuffed it down as far as she could possibly do, and slammed the lid shut. "What are you doing?" I got angry at Nana, but she sprinted back to her room, tears running down her cheeks all the while. I decided to hurry after her and ask her why she did such a thing.
Why did you throw your new bag in the trash, honey? Dad and I spent some time and money preparing it for you, you know?
Because that wasn't a new school bag, Mommy.
What do you mean? Alex told something I had never thought I'd hear that day, leaving me utterly astonished. There was a letter from someone in a small pocket inside the school bag. The letter said that the writer's parents were fighting a lot and that the writer wanted them to make up.
I don't know why it was in there. I looked at the bag carefully and it wasn't even the one I wanted, Mommy. Did you lie to me when you said you would buy it for me?
As she had said that, Alex started to cry. Oh, sweetheart, no. I'm sorry I yelled at you earlier. I'll go check with your father. Here, play some Angry Birds while you wait for me to come back. I fetched her the iPad with a few games to try and cheer her up before heading back to the living room. I couldn't believe Alex's story very easily and decided to check with my husband. I took the school bag out of the trash and took a closer look at it, and sure enough, it wasn't clean enough to be called brand new, and the letter that Alex told me about was actually there, in one of the side pockets. Hey, this is not the school bag I asked you to get. What does this mean exactly, Graham?
What? What are you talking about?
Alex found this letter from the previous owner inside a bag, and it's not even a brand new bag, is it? After a few moments of silence from him, he opened his mouth again and started to apologize.
I knew you'd find out.
Why did you do this?
I did say we could afford it. But after some thinking, I realized I'd spoken too soon. I really started to, but it was a waste to spend about a whole grand on just a simple school bag. So I got a used one and had it repaired. I thought I could cover it up.
I don't believe you. Do you have any idea how sorry I've been for Alex because she had been to restrain herself from asking the things she wanted because she knew I was tight with money? I told her I would buy her a good bag because I was determined to spoil her for the first time in a while. How could you call yourself her father and do this?
Hallie, listen. I feel terrible I did this.
You should give me back the $1,000 I gave you right now.
I'm sorry, but I spent the rest of the money on drinks and stuff. I spent a bit of money on my latest business trip. Remember?
What the hell? Oh my god. You... I've never been so angry in my entire life. How dare you spend near $1,000 for that kind of stupid bullshit? Are you hiding something else from me? Is that it?
I'm not hiding anything. I'm really sorry about this, Hallie. Please? I'll apologize to Alex, too. Just, please forgive me.
It's not a question of if I'll forgive you or not. It's rather a question of how treasonous it can be for a father to spend a huge amount of money originally meant for your daughter on yourself. I can't take all of this right now. I don't want to see your face at the moment. For now, just get out and go buy some groceries or something.
I understand.
I was so stunned. I just couldn't believe what my husband was saying. How in the world was I going to explain all this to Alex, who I knew heard pretty much everything with how loud I was yelling? By the time I heard the front door close, I'd lost all my faith and trust in my husband. There was no way he could have spent $1,000 in 5 days. Would he really spend that much for drinks every night or something? I couldn't trust anything my husband said, and I couldn't help but feel that he is hiding something else from me. Something far more important and scandalous. Then, I remembered I found a credit card statement in the mail a few days prior. I remembered that I hadn't given it to my husband yet, and I decided to check it out. When I opened the package and looked at the statement, I noticed something unnatural. Very unnatural. There were numerous payments made to travel agencies and restaurants. Moreover, all the dates coincided with the days he was away on his most recent business trip, which obviously made things very skeptical for me. It was a company trip. My husband would have not paid for the trip, his workplace would have, and each payment was for a price that just could not have been for one person. Maybe the whole thing about going on a business trip was a huge lie, and he instead went on a trip with someone else. I was saddened to see that there was evidence of payment of only $100 to repair Alex's hand-me-down bag. I was feeling down after looking at my husband's credit card statement when I heard a notification on what I thought was my phone. I checked it, and there was no notification. I proceeded to see where the sound had came from, and found that Graham had left his phone on the living room table. I thought he must have forgotten it because I quickly kicked him out to go shopping for groceries for some time. I looked at his lock screen and found that he had received a message from a woman named Maya Cullen. The message was fairly long, and she had included content like, "That last trip we had was so much fun, darling," with millions of heart emojis following the words. The first thing that came to mind was that he had gone on a trip with this Maya woman, and so I proceeded to attempt to check Graham's phone for additional information. I found that it was locked and it couldn't open to go on the home screen. The pin seemed to be a 4-digit number, so I thought it might be his birthday. Upon entering 1123 to unlock it, it was the right number, and I was in uncharted territory now. I checked the contents in the Messages app, and lo and behold, a rich history of intimate communication between the two traders. And they were not mere acquaintances. On the contrary, I was convinced at this point that my husband was having an affair. At that moment, Graham came home from the grocery store.
I'm home. Looks like I'd forgotten my phone, so I'm sorry I couldn't let you know when I was coming back. Feeling any better? I'm down to talk.
Well, ask and you shall receive, motherfucker. And what, pray tell, does this mean? I immediately showed him his credit card bill and the messages on his phone. The color of his face changed from healthy to white as a corpse.
Why are you looking through my phone and my credit card statements without my permission?
Because you can't be trusted is why. And what's more, you going on a business trip was a complete lie. You were instead going on a trip with this woman called Maya Cullen. You spent the money for Alex's school bag on a trip to a goddamn adultery. When you came home, I smelled some nice freaking perfume on your jacket and thought something was fishy, Graham. I confronted him with all of the evidence, and he seemed to have come to his senses and started talking once again.
Yes. I got tired of living with you and decided to cheat on you. I was cheating on you with Maya because 1, she's prettier than you ever were, and 2, she made me feel loved. She's the best person I've ever known because she cares about me more than anyone else ever did. And we, as a couple, don't talk much anymore, Hallie.
How did you get the school bag?
Maya is a divorced single mother whom I met on another business trip and has a 19-year-old daughter. And I hired a repair shop to fix up the hand-me-down bag she had. She divorced when her kid was in elementary school, and I just thought it'd be a good idea to save money and give Alex her bag.
Okay, I see now. I see everything. Unauthorized use of money I gave you, originally for our daughter, but used on a love affair, lied about going on a business trip, and don't show any remorse in doing any of these. I didn't think you were that kind of scumbag, Graham McFarlane. We are divorcing.
By all means, let's get you a divorce. Whatever you want.
I'll take Alex under my wing. I can't let a heartless liar like you raise my sweet daughter. I'll hire a lawyer, so don't contact me directly.
Wait, what? A lawyer? Hey, wait a minute!
I couldn't stand my husband's cruel behavior towards my daughter any longer, so I took Alex and went back to my parents' house. When I told my parents of what happened, they got angry with my husband and advised me to go along with the divorce. A few days later, the McFarlanes dragged Graham to my parents' house, where Alex and I were living, to apologize. Hallie, My idiot son has done something very unfortunate and utterly inexcusable. I'm so sorry.
We offer our deepest apologies. However, Graham himself seems to be regretting everything he did as well. So, we'd like to formally request you put your divorce with him on hold for now. I'm sorry.
Forget my husband for now. It seemed like my parents-in-law had come to apologize to me partly because they didn't want their son to get divorced. You see, Mr. Carson McFarlane and Mrs. Sabrina McFarlane are well-known landowners in their area, and if word got out that my husband, their eldest son, had divorced his wife because he cheated on her, it wouldn't look good in the eyes of the public, for they were always proud to be local celebrities. But I didn't care about any of that. My decision to divorce Graham never wavered. I appreciate your apologies, Mr. McFarlane and Mrs. McFarlane, but I must decline. I will divorce your son no matter what you say. I can no longer trust him because he lied to me about Alex's bag and, most importantly, his affair that betrayed my daughter's love for her father. I'm sure he will do the same thing again as time goes on. My parents, who were standing next to me listening to the conversation, also opened their mouths.
Mr. Graham, you have lost Holly's trust, and there is nothing you can do about it. Accept it.
We will respect our daughter's opinion on this matter. She is not at fault, after all. Any more talk won't change anything, so I must request that all three of you leave our property.
Oh no, please.
Oh no! Please?
My parents took my side and kicked my husband and his family out.
Thank you, Mom. Dad. You don't have to worry, darling. If you ever go to court, we'll help you in however what we can. And we'll also help you raise Alex.
You need to get rid of your connection to that bastard. A man who lies will never cease to lie, and will only create more chaos with time.
I was worried about a single mother if I got divorced, but I was determined to do my best for the sake of my daughter. After that, Graham did not agree to divorce so easily, so we both resorted to hiring lawyers and went through divorce mediation. My in-laws apologized to me repeatedly, but I did not change my mind. The judge had said that even from an objective point of view, it was clear that my husband had created a reason for the divorce, so the odds were certainly against him. As a result, we were able to get divorced successfully, and I received $50,000 in alimony. After that, my ex-husband's parents-in-law said that he was a disgrace to their family and severed ties with them. I heard that he was rejected from his family. Graham tried moving in with the woman whom he had an affair, Maya, but since the woman herself also had to meet demands for alimony from yours truly, even if she did wind up living with Graham, she would surely live in poverty. Some colleagues from his workplace saw Graham going in and out of the city court for family affairs, and rumors started spreading that he got divorced after a dispute and that he was shamed in the legal battle. He may be transferred to a department in the countryside soon. Both traders in the story seem to be having a hard time. Also, my daughter Alex seems to be aware that her father was the cause of the divorce because she adamantly refuses to see him. She instead finds great joy in playing with my parents a lot and seems to be having a great lot of fun in her life. At first, I wondered if I had done the right thing by separating Alex from her father, but now I see her smile every day. I'm relieved to see that she seems to be enjoying her life every day. I vowed to do my best not to cause her any inconvenience despite being a single mother, and thanks to her being the source of so much sunshine in my life, I will do what I can to enjoy my life with her.